much, Mary. And we'll be back to you later to hear from people on the phones. But I just wanted to welcome all of you to the public meeting this afternoon. And the topic of the meeting is the draft environmental impact statement and proposed rule that the Nuclear Regulatory Commission staff has prepared on the topic of waste confidence. And it's, as usual, my pleasure to serve as your facilitator for the meeting today. And I'm going to be assisted by Miriam Juckett, who's from the Center for Nuclear Waste Regulatory Analyses in San Antonio, Texas. And Miriam and I have been co-facilitating the meetings on this topic around the country. And we'll try to help all of you to have a productive meeting today in our role as facilitators. I just want to say a few words on process before we get to the substance of the meeting today. And the purpose of the meeting is to give all of you, and not only people in the audience, but we have people on the phones who are listening and who may be speaking, give all of you an opportunity to tell the NRC staff what your comments or recommendations are on the draft environmental impact statement and proposed rule. And then the staff will carefully consider and evaluate what they hear today in preparing the final environmental impact statement. Now, this is our second meeting at NRC headquarters, and we've had several regional meetings around the country, and there's more to come, two next week in California, and then a meeting in Toledo, and a meeting in Minneapolis. And we've tried to accommodate all the people who have asked us to have a meeting in their region. And even though we've been out on the road a lot, we haven't been able to go to every place that people have wanted us to go. And so this meeting, we're providing an opportunity for people on the phone to call in, and we're going to try to give some priority to people from those regions that we haven't been able to go to. But we are going to try to get to all of you in the room and to all the people on the phone before we adjourn today. I should note that there's another final meeting on December 9th, which is a call-in only meeting. So that will be another opportunity for people to express their opinion on waste confidence. In terms of ground rules, first I would ask you to sign up to speak if you want to speak. And a lot of people have pre-registered, either in the audience or on the phones. And Jessie, one of the NRC Waste Confidence staff, is out at the table. And if you haven't seen her and you want to speak, just please go out and tell her that she won an opportunity to speak today. And for those of you on the phone, if you hit *1, then you're going to go into the queue, and we will have a list of you on the phone, and we will go to you to speak. And we're going to be switching back and forth between the audience here in Rockville and the people on the phones. And what I'll do is I'll call your name. I'll call a couple names in advance so that you'll know where you are to speak. And when it's your turn to speak, for those of you in the audience, please come up to the podium and introduce yourself to us. And for those of you on the phone, I'll call your name, and then Mary, our operator, will patch you through to us here in Rockville. Second ground rule is I'm going to have to ask all of you to be very brief in your comments today, and I'm asking you to follow a 3-minute time limit. And I know that's a short period of time. And I apologize in advance if I have to ask you to wrap up, because I know you spend time on your comments. We do have some assistance for you, at least for those of you who are in the room today. We have a plan right here from the Center for Nuclear Waste Regulatory Analyses, and he's going to give you some help by holding up a sign that tells you when you have 1 minute left, and it's not going to be a hard 3 minutes. We'll let you finish what you're talking about. We do need to try to keep people to 3 minutes so that we can hear from everybody today who wants to comment. And fortunately, there's ways that you can amplify on your comments. And you can speak today, and you can submit a written comment, and you can amplify on your 3 minutes in that written comment. I mentioned the call-in meeting that's on December 9th. We have regional meetings that I mentioned, that if you're convenient for you, you can come to those meetings. And we do also have something called NRC Public Meeting Feedback Forum. And this is to give the NRC an idea of what you thought of a particular public meeting so that we can try to improve on our public meetings. But you can also use this forum to write a comment on the draft environmental impact statement or the proposed rule, and you can either leave it with us today, or it's already stamped. You can take it home and then fill it on and just put it in the mail to us. One thing to note is that the NRC staff is here listening to what you're saying, but they're not going to be responding to what you say today. They are going to listen carefully and carefully consider and evaluate any comments that they heard today, or any questions that you might pose when you're making your comment, and that will be reflected in the final environmental impact statement. We're going to have 2 brief NRC staff presentations for you, and then we're going to go on to you for comment. We do want to make sure that you understand the process for submitting comments to the NRC, so we'll have time, a few minutes, for questions about that comment process to make sure that everybody understands that. If you have a technical or a question on a technical issue or on a legal issue, we do have staff experts over in the open house area, which is in the other building, the second building. They will be there for the duration of this meeting. And if you hear something, you think about something, you have a question, please go over there and talk to one of those people. And for those of you on the phone, if you do have that type of question, Sarah Lopez, who's here in the room, and I'm going to give you her phone number, and you can call her. Well, obviously, she's not going to be taking phone calls in the meeting. She's here in the entire meeting with us. But if you do have a question, please call Sarah at 301-287-0675, and she'll try to get you to the right person to answer your question. And I should note that if you do go over during the meeting to talk to people over there in the open house area, or if you call Sarah, those questions or discussions that you have, they're not going to be on the formal record. So if you want to get that particular point on the record, you have to put that in your comments. And we usually have a stenographer here with us in person today. Our stenographer today is tuning in by phone, but we are taking a transcript, and that will be your record of the meeting, and it will be the NRC's record of the meeting. And that's one reason why I would just ask you that only one person at a time speak. I don't think it's usually not a problem in Rockville. Sometimes it's a problem in the region where people are enthusiastic and want to just talk. But we want to give our full attention to whomever has the floor at the moment, and we want to make sure that the stenographer knows who's speaking, so that can be reflected in the transcript. And with that, let me introduce the NRC, some of the NRC staff.
My name is Carrie Safford, and I'm the Deputy Director of the Waste Confidence Directorate here at the NRC. Thank you for coming out today and participating in our meeting. I want to start off with just a few general comments about our rulemaking process at the NRC. Writing regulations is one of the most important things that we do here at the agency. Regulations are our vehicle for implementing international and national policy and for achieving the NRC's goals of maintaining public health and safety and security and protection of the environment. It's an extremely important activity. As Chip mentioned, the purpose of today's meeting is to obtain your comments on the draft generic environmental impact statement and proposed rule. For the past year, the Directorate has been involved in an effort to assess the environmental impacts of continued storage of spent fuel beyond the reactor's licensed life for operation. The draft generic environmental impact statement and proposed rule are the results of that effort. We have strived to provide an open and transparent process throughout. And now, today, we look forward to hearing your comments. I also want to point out that in the proposed rule, there are specific areas that the NRC commissioners have asked for your response on. Your feedback in these areas and other areas will help us improve the final documents that are sent to the Commission and provide valuable input during the Commission's deliberations on the final rule and generic environmental impact statement. And finally, there's a few points that I want to mention that Chip alluded to on the revised schedule of meetings coming up. We had to reschedule a number of our regional public meetings. All of the meetings have now been renoticed, and the remaining schedule is as follows. Carlsbad, California on November 18th, San Luis Obispo, California on November 20th, Harrisburg, Ohio on December 2nd, and Minnetonka, Minnesota on December 4th. And again, as Chip mentioned, the new meeting is a teleconference-only meeting that will be held from 1 to 4 p.m. on December 9th. In light of this new meeting schedule, the deadline for submitting public comments has been extended to December 20th. The dates, locations, and times for all of these meetings have been noticed in the Federal Register through our website, and notices have also gone out on the Waste Confidence Outreach, our email distribution list. So once again, thank you. Welcome to this afternoon's meeting, and we look forward to hearing your comments.